everyone, welcome back to the channel for another game today. Today is not a simple game but is a test one because I have a pair of ideas that I want to try out, but before to make a tip of tactics video about it, want to try it, and especially cavalry. How much cavalry is too much cavalry in a game, and the use of battery for the artillery. This is an ad hoc scenario today, and we are in the peninsula, and this is Fuente de Rio Rojo, and this village, in this village the French had put out a defense against the attacking British. So the French will try to prevent the Brits to bypass the village and take the main road. So if the village is taken by the British, the French lose. If they manage to left the Brit out the boundary of the village, they will win the game. To win the game, the perimeter of the village, the boundary signed by the low wall, must be free from British unit. The woods on the hill, and this one is defendable terrain, so both this trees area can be occupied by a single unit, even if they are large one. To simplify the rule, there are two bridges, a main bridge here along the road and a secondary bridge down there. That secondary bridge can only be crossed by skirmish or unit in column of march or column of assault, and so this bridge here. And that's it essentially for the game. The French start with less unit because they have the defense position, and they have some unit in reserves. The Brits start with everything on the battlefield, and they will go into attack. And here we are early in the morning, because the temperatures grow up so quickly that play during the day is quite impossible. And sorry for the noise in the background, are the two fan and the air cooler that is going. To save my life, deployment done today. The British attacking choose envelope on the left as a main course of attack, and center attack if the main plane will take a stop, so moving from the left to the center. According to this, I deploy the light brigade on this right flank of the British with the order to engage and treat the flank. And we have the Cazadoras, the 95th Rifle, the 2 unit of British infantry, supported by 1 unit of Spanish guerrilla and 1 detachment of Spanish guerrilla that they will also try to help their ally. In the center at the moment, leading by Lord Crawford itself, freshly finished to paint, we have the King German Legion in front, with the 2nd German Legion and 2 battalion with an artillery, field artillery, followed by a brigade of line battalion plus 1 light battalion and another artillery. The center, this reserve in the back, can easily move on the left to follow the line of attack, or push into the center if needed. The plan will change. As I said, Lord Crawford and the main flank of attack, light cavalry brigade in front with a unit of horse artillery, heavy cavalry on the far left, and the Scots brigade with the 51st and 3 light battalion and 3 line battalion ready to move. Attached to this brigade we have an attachment of 60 rifle, a battalion of Portuguese allied, and a unit of artillery. It is the hammer that will crush the French defense. In reserve for the Brits, only the guard, and thanks to the home rule for Crawford, the reserve can arrive turn 1. I'll see if I need this. And moving to the French, to face this side, we have a battery, 4 field gun deployed on the hill. Try to protect them a battalion of Swiss, 2 battalion in column of Polish, and 1 battalion of Brigadier, and a detachment of Voltigeurs on their left. In the center, protecting the village at the moment, another full brigade of 4 line battalion. This one is a veteran one, a detachment of Voltigeurs. And Marshal Soult lead the defense of the village. Protecting the flank, the wood is occupied by 1 battalion of Legers, 2 battalion of Legers, and 1 half battalion of Legers. No veteran set aside. This unit here and the Swiss on this side. And for the Brits, we have, as usual, the 2 Scots battalion as veteran, and that's it. The 95th Rifle had no upgrade this time. In reserve for the French, we have a small brigade of 3 battalion and 1 attached Voltigeurs, and a brigade of light cavalry with 2 chasseurs and cheval. And that's it. The French are outnumbered. And as I said, what I want to test here is how such unit of cavalry can change the course of the game, and how the battery will work without Napoleon to let them choose the target, if they can develop enough firepower to crack the enemy. And that's it. Now moving into the first British turn, I decided to do not film any roll of the dice, because it will end in a too long Batrep. So I recap the end of each turn, and if happens something very interesting moment, I will film that. So now moving into the first turn, and roll to see who is the first to start the battle. The French can react and take the first turn, or the British will push forward. Oh, we'll see this roll. Determined that the French will react quickly and they start the game. I'll back at the end of their first turn. French turn is over, and it's open with the battery, which opened fire and put 2 casualties into the light dragoon in front of them. The brigade maneuver and take the mixed order with the French in line and the 2 battalion of Polish on their side. Then their Voltigeurs has taken position into the field, and the same did this brigade, which stay put at only the Voltigeurs taking position into the field. I forgot to mention, field in this game will offer protection, some kind of cover, but do not slow down a charger movement within it. And on the left side, the Legers activates successfully and move forward. This column take position before the bridge to move where it is needed the most. The other column cross the bridge, and the half battalion take the open order and move forward as possible. And now this is the end of the French turn. Moving to see for what happened for the British. First turn, the card is a 7, and what they do on the left, charge. So according to the plan, they will move forward as fast as possible, and if they can, engage melee. Not that case, but prepare attack for the next turn. The center, 2 two, and they are in superiority, but no, and they are not, because they are in defense position. So relieve, they take defensive position essentially. On the right, react to the enemy movement. Again, move forward slowly and take position for the next turn. Not the best first turn for the British, because no one can fire. On that side, everything going well. The cavalry moves forward, the Major Dragoon take the open order and move slightly forward in the other to attract the fire. The rest maneuver according to the plan, and Crawford make the guard enter first turn. The center take the less activation possible, because they have to relieve, so they move forward without taking double or do anything else. But on the right British flank they fail to activate, so the light brigade, which firepower is needed, is stay put. So this surely allow the French Leger to take better position to support and protect that flank. And that's it for the British turn. Now moving into the French second turn. The fire on that side in the second French turn was completely ineffective. All the guns in the battery missed their target, and the skirmishers of the Swiss also miss. Then they take square because they're in range for a charge. In the center, both the voltigeurs miss their target, so no casualty. The only good thing for the French is that due to the failure to activation from the light British brigade, they can take better fire position for the incoming turn. And that's essentially it for the French turn. Now moving into the British second turn. So the British second turn start with an all-out assault, and then on the left, two, they are in superiority, so +1, so engage. Engage means prefer maneuver and fire, engaging melee only if in advantage. In the center, they start to move. React mean units take position for further action later on. And on the left, 5, they will engage, so starting to act aggressively. Engage, prefer maneuver and fire, and engage melee only in advantage. Obviously, they will take position for develop their superior firepower, at least on theory. And now moving into the effective turn. The fire from the British was not heavy but effective. The second King German Legion put 1 casualty into that voltigeur down there. This cannon missed the other voltigeur, but this gun here, this battery, put 2 casualty into the squares of the Swiss, and now proceeding into the activation. British turn is over. All the cavalry maneuver and the battalion, according to them, push forward on the left and on the center. And down there on the hill, the light brigade spread out and take their position. Then here in the center, the light dragoons charge and crush the first unit of voltigeur. Then, due to that strong, they charge all along into the French line behind this low wall and lose badly. Now they have to take 4 valor tests to stay, so they fail and gone. 1 fortitude test per side. The Brits pass it, the French also pass it, so nothing's happened. Now moving into the French third turn. The fire phase for the French, it's over. 1 casualty put into the heavy cavalry, 1 here, and the battery strike 2 times, shaken that unit of light dragoon. In the center, the fire from the skirmisher from that unit here and here put 1 casualty into the 2nd Light Battalion, and the skirmisher fire from the 2 Leger put 1 casualty into the guerrilla detachment, while this half battalion here put another casualty into the guerrilla counterpart. That's it for the fire. Now moving into the activation turn. French turn is over. Reserve has arrived. The infantry battalion into the village to boost the defense. The only movement is a slight movement backward from this voltige here. The 2 units of Chasseurs and Cheval has entered and threat their counterpart, and the 2 battalion of Polish go into square, and the detachment of Voltigeur is entering this way and they put some more firepower protected by the square, but they needed to activate with the Honor 2 Plus to move. So we'll see. That's it for the French turn. Now moving into the British 4 turn. With the aid of the direct fire card, this battery shoot 3 dice and shaken the Swiss. Then the rest of the British line take fire. This battery failed to do anything. The 2nd Light Battalion put the 2nd casualty into this voltige and shaken them. 1 casualty is put here from the 95th. 1 casualty is put here from the combination of the 2 British battalion, and 1 casualty is put here on the combination of the guerrilla, Spanish guerrilla. And that's it. And now moving into the activation. As per order by the card, if Dragoon charge and crush the shaken square of the Swiss, then due to headstrong enter in melee with the voltige down there and also crush them, but in the process taking 4 casualty and became shaken in the middle of this 2 square. On that side, the cavalry charge of the Hussars forced to retreat. The Chasseurs and Cheval put in 3 casualty. They also take 2 casualty. So both are shaken. No test is required. Just 1 test for the brigade in the middle, which is a test on a 4+. So 1 defeat for the French, who from the brigade that just arrived from reserve. Defeat in this game only come into account only if the village is contested. If the village is in the French hand, it will be a French victory, and obviously if it is in the British hand, it will be a British victory. In case the village is contested, then the defeat came into account to see who gain a minor victory. Now moving into the French turn 4, the Brits play disorder, confusion, so no free activation this turn, and the activation is a 6. So deadly can reroll any melee. Now moving into the shooting and then back to the activation. For once the French fire was effective, usually is on the other side. This battalion here put 1 casualty here, this Leger put another casualty into that battalion, but especially this Leger here discharge and put 3 casualty into the King German Legion 1st Battalion, which is right in range. The fire from this line here put 1 casualty in the 2nd Light Battalion of the King German Legion and 1 casualty in the 60th Rifle from that line here. The battery put 2 casualty into the Hussars, which passed both their morale, and the 2 square cooked in the middle, the heavy Dragoon, which have to test and fail their morale, so they gone. Now the heavy cavalry have to take a fortitude test because it lost 1 of its battalion and it failed it, so 1 fail to this 1 defeat to the heavy cavalry and 1 casualty because they are within 6 inches from the from an enemy unit, and then start the activation for the French. The French exit from the wood with the last leger and take position, sun redeployment inside the village. The cavalry here has charged straight forward into the shaken hussars, but the hussars lose the melee but pass their valor test. They have to take 2. They also put 2 casualty into the chasseur. On the other side, 1 lucky roll, and that unit of chasseur rally from their shaken status. And that's it for the French turn. Now moving into the British turn. The British fire here is pretty ineffective. Despite the close range, they miss completely to hit the square. The rest of the fire, it was not bad. 1 casualty, 2 casualties put here, 1 casualty into this line, 1 casualty in each light leger battalion from the counterpart. And that's for the fire. Now moving to the activation with some charge to try here to break the situation, break the stalemate. The desperate charge of the light dragoon didn't pay off. This unit is now shaken, but they win the melee and break the light dragoon. But the brigade commander pass their fortitude test, so they stay because they are really in danger, and no defeat is taken. The infantry brigade move slightly forward as much as possible, taking position to assault both the center and 1 on the square, or to put shoot into the square. The heavy cavalry wish to charge but fail their activation. Guard move closer and prepare to support the attack or lead the attack. The center stay where they are according to their card, and this unit failed to activate, but they really do not have any place to move. Just 1 move that I forgot, that artillery that move forward. But for this, for that is the end of the British turn. Now moving into the French turn. Again, the French fire is quite effective. Put 1 casualty here, 1 casualty here, 1 casualty into Casador from the fire from this 3 leger. The skirmisher from this leger and this column put 3 casualty into the artillery, which is shaken and pass its valor test for the 3rd casualty. 1 casualty put into the 2nd light battalion of the King German Legion, and 1 casualty put into the Portuguese line infantry. The battery here hit 4 times this hussars, which now proceed to take the test, and that artillery is also shaken by the fire. The 2 square shoot into the heavy dragoon, putting 1 casualty. Now the 4 valor test for the hussars, it's failed, it's failed 2 times, so it's gone. And this is within 6 inches from an enemy, so it's also gone. So the light brigade of cavalry from the British is gone, and this means first of all 1 fortitude test, which is failed, so 2 defeat for the Brits. 1 because they failed the fortitude test, and 1 because the brigade is gone. Sorry, I made the right thing but in the wrong order. They failed the morale and forced the leader to take a fortitude test. He failed the fortitude test, so this one, which is shaken and within 6 inches, also gone. So the brigade take essentially 2 defeat because it's destroyed. 1 defeat for the unit loss and 1 for the brigade destroyed, which pass into the Sir Crawford. And that's it for the fire. Now moving into the charge or activation phase. The end of the French turn, the turn end with a cavalry charge. This unit of chasseurs en cheval charged the Portuguese that were here because they hit it twice and the Portuguese hit 3 times. I used deadly to reroll, get the 3rd attack became an hit, so the Portuguese is routed because they lost against the cavalry. On that side, 4 attack against 3 attack, they roll 4-1, they miss 3 times but roll 1. they reroll and also miss, so everything is missed in this melee. It's a draw, so they stay where they are. And they put an end to the French turn. In the center, some movement, some redeployments, and unit put in line, and essentially that's it. And the Voltigeur down back the line, rally and take their shaken status out. And now moving into the British turn. British turn start with a 2. I have to reroll, no card at this turn, and let me double check what they do. Still push into the envelope, so now no more in advantage. 3 is engage, with me in prefer maneuver and fire, engaging melee only if in advantage, and this could be the situation. Now in the center, 3 react again, they stay where they are and prefer shooting over melee, and on the left react again the same. So that's it. Now moving into the shooting British turn. Finally, the Light Brigade started to make their firepower count. 1 casualty here, 1 casualty here, they are exhausted, 1 casualty here, but they receive a casualty from the skirmisher of the King German Legion. In the middle, the 2nd Light Battalion put another casualty in the French battalion behind the wall. On that side, the 1st Scots open fire into the square, putting 3 casualty. The 60th Rifle of the Guard miserably fail to hit this square here. And now moving into the activation for the Brits. In the end, the British pressure started to pay it off. Both the assault from the Scots, the Black Watch, and the 40 Rifle paid off, destroying both the cavalry unit, destroying the brigade, so 1 defeat for Marshal Soult. On that side, the heavy cavalry tried to charge this square and take 1 wound in the result, so they are shaken now, but without the cavalry, infantry can maneuver more aggressively and try to accomplish the plan to envelop this side of the French deployment. In the center, nothing else happened, so moving into the French turn. The fire for the square put 2 casualty here, but they passed their valor. The battery, one of the gun tried to shoot at the 1st Scot here, but completely missed, while 2 cannon in the battery at short distance put 3 casualty into the Black Watch. The 40 Rifle was shaken by the fire of this line. This line put another casualty into the Light Battalion in front. Their skirmisher failed to damage their artillery, and this skirmisher missed. The combination of the skirmisher of these 2 units put 1 casualty and shaken the British battalion in front of them. And now proceeding to the activation for the French. Summer deployment along the line. Both this battalion failed to rally. That one redeploy. This one retreat to enter in the wood and protect it, or in any case rally the next turns. And here this battalion failed to activate. I want to push this column out to threat the British line, but they fail. A redeployment of the other brigade of infantry. This column of attack has moved outside the border of the village to threaten the Brits. And on this side, a grenadier take the center to protect the square. But until the cavalry is down there, even if shaken, is not so easy. That's it for the French, a conservative turn. Now moving into the British turn. The British turn start with a deadly card, and we'll see. Now they have no bonus, but still out of the attack, and they charge if they can. In the center, 5 probe, and probe mean units maneuver to approaching the enemy line, prefer fire over melee, engage only if in advantage, and this finally means that the center will move. And on the left, they react, so stay there where they are. and continue the firefight against their counterpart. But this is according to the plan, perfectly according to the plan. Now moving into the British shooting. Not bad for the Brits. They put one casualty here first, then to test, but they pass. One casualty here, one casualty here, that I forgot to put one casualty here, I say, yes, one casualty into this column here from the artillery. Even if they are shaken, they shake this battalion with the fire of the 2nd Light Battalion, they shake this one with the artillery, put one casualty into the column from the 40 line until they are shaken, and especially they break the square of the Polish with a fire from the Black Watch. And that's it for the British fire, not bad. Now proceeding into the activation phase. In the end, a mixed bag result for the Brits their stern, because the first Scots charge but lose the melee. They take 3 casualties from the square, which is shaken, but they hold the position. The 51st move forward in open order to absorb the enemy fire. The guard take back position, they fail to rally, but the center, which finally for the order have to move forward, the King German Legion failed their activation, so they stuck the battalion back at them, and no possibility to the artillery to try anything. And on that side again they failed to activate. Not that really matter, they do not have any place to go. And now start the French turn. This time the French fire was pitiful, because this gun put one casualty into the Scots, and the entire battery put only one casualty into the 95th Light Battalion. Then every unit that shoot with their skirmisher missed completely. They missed the 43 skirmisher shot into the 2nd Light Battalion, also missed. They put one casualty into the Cazadora, and that's it. This 2 units with their skirmisher failed to hit anything. And that's it for the French fire. Now moving into the activation. The French turn, the half battalion down there successfully rally. Everything else that tried to rally failed to rally. This voltigeurs moved forward to protect the line at the moment. The Grognard crushed the 91st Light Battalion. Here the melee was pitiful, because the French obtained 2 casualties and shaken the Brits, and the Brits obtained 2 casualties. Then play deadly and rerolling the 3 misses, put 1 more casualty into the Grenadier and win the melee, so holding the line for this turn. And now proceeding into the British turn and see if they can break the situation. British turn start with an all-out assault, and it's not bad for the moment. On the left, no bonus, 4 engage. Engage will melee only if in advantage, we will see. In the center, react, and on the left, probe. So essentially the center will try to move only if advantage, and they will try to break the situation, open at least the movement for the entire brigade that is stuck from 3 turns behind the German Legion. And that's it. Now moving into the fire for the Brits. Fire from the Light Brigade put then another casualty here, and they are shaken, another casualty here, they quite shaken. Then the 2nd Light Battalion shoot into the voltigeur in front and shake them. The artillery failed to hit. Then this artillery put 2 casualties into the line, but they passed their morale. And 1 casualty is put onto one of the cannon and on the hill, but not an ass. Now moving into the British activation. Another bloody melee on this side. The square is routed by the assault of the 1st Scots, with and the battle and the melee shaken but victorious. Then here the guard charge the grognard and shaking the grognard and take 4 casualty, both score 4 hits per side. The guard win, but they are shaken no more than shaken status, so they stay. The 40 line battalion has charged and was repelled and routed by this infantry line. Essentially that's it. Movement in the center, even the 2nd brigade had taken their line, and finally the King German Legion move and slightly move forward and sideways, allowing the Ensuing Brigade to take position, and here no movement at all. And that's it for the British turn. Now moving into the and the French pass their morale for the loss of the battalion of the Polish, and the British pass their morale for the loss of the 41st Rifle. And that's it now. Moving into the French turn. The fire from the battery, shaken the Scots Blackwatch and put 1 casualty into the incoming guard. In the center, the skirmisher fire and put 1 casualty into this artillery. The fire from this skirmisher area, supported by this one, put another casualty in the 2nd light battalion and shake them, while the skirmisher of this light battalion, Leger, put 1 casualty and shake this battalion here. They completely miss, but this half battalion rout their counterpart, and their commander fail the fortitude test and take 1 defeat. No enemy within 6 inches, so no further shaken unit or casualty suffered. And now we're moving into the French activation. End of the French turn, and the counter-strike didn't work so well. Soult order an all-out assault for the engaged battalion, but where the grenadier win the melee but the first Scots stay, the grognard inflict enough casualty to shake the guard, the 3rd battalion of the guard, but were badly beaten and they rout. And down there, with a poor melee result, the column of attack failed to break the German Legion, which win the melee, put 1 casualty into the French, 2 casualty into the French, while just 1 is taken by the Brits, 2 casualty into the French. And that's put an end to the French turn, and the next one could be the turning point if everything go with the plan of the General Crawford. British turn. The Queen. It's good. Defensive fire. Not bad. But on the left, no bonuses. It's a charge, so push on the attack. In the center, 6 probe. They move slightly forward, take position for the further change of mission, but essentially they shoot and stay. On the right, they react, so stay and react to the French activation. No, moving to the fire for the Brits. Well, the British fire is not so enthusiastic this turn, but put some casualty here and there, but the decisive blow was the rout of the Voltigeur, which caused a failure in the fortitude test. So both this unit that have an enemy within 6 inches also rout, so this brigade is drastically reduced in a single volley of fire. On that side, every single Leger is shaken, but the tests are all passed. Now, proceeding to remove the casualty and into the Brits activation. The French has used confusion, so everything must be activated with the dice. So what a carnage and what a disaster on this side. The first Scots, the Scots brigade failed to activate, so cannot even try to rally. The first Scots was routed by the Grenadier. Their lord, their commander may fail the test and take a defeat. So also the Black Watch routed, and only the presence of the 60 rifle detachment save the brigade to be completely annihilated. So this side is now in danger, probably require a change of strategy, because in the center the disaster was for the French. The shaken unit of King German Legion successfully routed a pretty safe column of attack, forcing another test to their leader, but this time with a 6 he passed its fortitude test. So now it's the French turn, but situation starts to look grim for the French. The problem is that with the guard on that side, which successfully rally, and an entire fresh brigade in front, the possibility to hold the village is degrading quite quickly. But we will see. Moving to French turn. Finish the fire for the French. Every Leger shoot with their skirmisher only, and they rout the Spanish militia, the guerrilla unit here, and their leader failed another morale, another fortitude, to take another defeat. Down in the center the fire was ineffective, but the skirmishers from here and here and here finally took their toll on this German Legion, which failed their morale and gone. Now you have to take the leadership test, the fortitude test for their commander. On this side, the battery, despite the close distance, completely missed every single shot, so nothing was inflicted to the guard. Now the fortitude test for the King German Legion, a roll on a 4. It's another defeat for the British, and it's a Valor test for the 2nd Light Battalion. I use my home rule shaken unit at the moment of a failure for fortitude test, if not within 6 inches, may take a Valor test to not rout by themselves, and they stay, so they stay. Now proceeding to remove the casualty and moving to the activation for the French. The French turn is over. The surprise attack didn't pay off. They take the movement and charge into the flank, but the heavy dragoon hold their line, so they stay despite the heavy difference in dice. And here this line has taken position to receive bodyguard or the King German Legion. This brigade here failed to activate. The Leger successfully activate, and 2 on the 3 battalion rally. Oh, I have to test for this one to rally in a moment I made, but this is for the French turn, now beginning of the British turn. The Leger into the wood didn't activate. So British turn. The 9, surprise attack, surprise, surprise. On the left now the situation is without any particular bonus, but before to roll I change from envelop from the left to the central attack. I've lost enough battalion to allow me to change strategy for the AA, and the center is promising more consistent in their effort to break the French resistance. So the left, no bonuses, 6, engage. If they can win, they will engage. In the center, charge. Where I can, they will charge in. On the left, probe. So again, they stay where they are and try to shoot down the French. That's it. Moving to the French fire phase. Well, the fire from the militia put one casualty and shake this unit. This one with the skirmisher shoot and force them to test, but they pass. The shooting from the Cazador and 95th shaking this battalion. Artillery and 2nd Leger light battalion, sorry, eat the column into the hill, put one casualty here. The 2 artillery plus the 60 rifle hitting on a 5 and put 3 casualty into the veteran line here, and no casualties put by the guard into the just damaged gun. Now proceeding into the activation for the Brits. British turn is hovering again. The heavy dragoon pass 4 Valor test on 4. They stay where they are against this grenadier. It's a fighting of heroes on that side. The guard crushing the French veteran and put a foothold into the village. The rest of the central brigade is moving forward according to their plans, to the changed plans, and they move to threat this Leger. And that's it for the British turn. Start with a French turn, but the situation for the French at the moment doesn't look good at all. The French firefight continue. They're shaken now, but they are past their test. And the artillery passed their test. I have to shoot with this one here into the second that I forgot and I made in a second. The rest of the fire, this battle is split fire. This 2 gun annihilated with a canister round the guard here and put 3 casualty, the other 2 cannon into this guard here. Those savage. Let me shoot 1 shot from the wood into the second. It's missed, so it's okay. The fire is end now into the French activation. What a turn! Finally, the grenadier break the heavy dragoon, but you have not seen the roll. 5 hits for the grenadier, 2 hits for the cavalry, and they fed the morale by 1. So a very heroic, epic fight down there. And in the center, the attack of the French crush both the unit of King German Legion and also the artillery down there filled their valor and gone. And this is a blow because the entire brigade is destroyed. But this means that they open space to the fresh British brigade, the last reserve from Lord Crawford in the final turns, because we have about half an hour to play before reach the end of the game. The sunset is coming on this battlefield and the British are ready to throw their last reserves into the fray, and the French have practically no more defense into the village. So we'll see. Now start the British turn. And the British turn start with a 7, so more fire if I have to fire, but probably the light brigade. And now we'll see what is happening. I need to take a dice. Wait just a sec. Dice, yep. In the center, they charge, obviously they charge. On the left they react to enemy. The guard will stay put and shoot to the hill, to the gun on the hill. Charging them would be a suicide. On the left, engage. So engage, you prefer fire, prefer maneuver over fire. At engage melee on in advantage. So they will try to push forward. We'll see back at the end of the British fire turn. Also the fire put a casualty here and they pass their test. A casualty here and they become shaken. And a casualty here and they become shaken. And that's it for the fire here. 1 cannonball struck this column, the spider wall, and put 1 casualty, and 1 of the gun is shaken, but a fire for the guard. And that's it for the British fire. Now moving into the activation. And the final reserve pushing hard into the French made their job. This battalion is lost, but they stay. this battalion here is routed by the Gordon Highlanders, and that leger here was slain and put to rout by the 69 and caused a general retreat. All the other battalion are within sixes. It failed, take a defeat that I have not yet put on it, and the other battalion also rout, left just one battalion to defend the wood and one battalion to defend the village. So because the heat upstairs here becoming overwhelming, I decided to give up. It was nice until at last, but the battle is lost. The British occupy the village and take a stunning victory against the French. Consideration: how much cavalry is too much cavalry? It's never enough if face a strong opposition. The square and the fire decimated the cavalry. The battery is very powerful in defense, where they have to stay put and just put fire to the enemy that coming to you. They are very, very powerful, despite they sometimes miss completely. I still have some reserve if you have battery and you have to assault, because you are limited to shoot to the closest one and not maybe where you want to break the enemy line. Today the battery win over cavalry, and indeed it was the best French unit on the table. But the British, changing at the last the strategy, abandoned the envelope on the left for a central push, gained the day, and they exit victory for victorious from this battle. Heroes of the day, probably the grenadier down there, which survive everything and in the end put the heavy dragoon on route. They do not win the day, but they prove themselves a very, very grognard from the Emperor. It was a very close one till the last turn, the last couple of turns, and it was very, very fun. Just the heat upstairs here diminish the enjoyment of this battle. Anyway, thank you for watching. It's a victory for the AI today, just for change. The system beat the human, so this means that the system will work. Thank you for watching again, and see you soon as possible as the heat allow to leave upstairs without sweating too much. Thank you for watching again, and bye bye.